Welcome back, everybody. It is the House of Agendas podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Doug. With me today, as always, is
Kid Kinsey, aka Young D Breezy, hashtag Himsy.
and unfortunately, after a very long Sunday for me, here's our Victor. So, as you can
Gangrene.
see, the Jets shirt, I still am reeling from that whole scenario. Uh, I don't have a lot to say yet. I have more coming. Kinsey, how was your weekend other than football? Did you do anything?
um, no, Saturday I was just planning to do some homework, but I just jumped on the game. It happens.
Yeah,
And then Sunday it was just like from like 1 to like 7. It's just football. Then it's just do whatever until the Sunday night game comes on.
right. This weekend, I had the kids, so things were a little bit different. Watched as much football as I can, but we did a couple things, so totally understand that. Wanted to jump right in. If you could give out our YouTube channel, give a little information.
Our YouTube channel, we just started it like the week of the podcast. It's House of Agendas. Spaces between that, and we're same on Twitter, same on. We don't have we actually we're not on Instagram yet. We'll be there soon, but yes,
Yep.
same on Twitter.
And then I was going to say we are also on Spotify at House of Agendas, same logo as the other social media, and we are going to be on Google Plus, I believe, audio, also under the same name. Wanted to make sure we mentioned that because just a couple other revenues or avenues to listen to us and get the content. Other than that, that should be the housekeeping for the
Yeah.
the
Wait, and like you can follow us personally, like my personal Twitter, Instagram, and all that. It's Kid Kinsey. Like I said last week, we both stream on Twitch. That's at Kid Kinsey 7, I believe, or it's just Kid
Mhm.
Kinsey. It's one of those two. But yeah, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, all that. Even YouTube, even though I don't upload much there. Yeah, it's all Kid Kinsey.
Yep. And like I said, also last week I stream. I'm under Dark Doug. That's DUGG, like the name in the corner here. 35, all one word on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. We're always talking about sports. We're always, going over games. I wanted to get right into it and everything on. I had a really crappy Sunday. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It was a Sunday that it makes you question your fandom, man. As you can see, my guy right here holding his Jet stuff. I cannot believe the Browns lost that game. It is one of the worst losses I've ever seen as a fan in over 20 years of fandom. I cannot believe the things that have come out of this. So I'm going to start off right at the top. That's the kind of game right there that gets your defensive coordinator fired. The fact that he wasn't fired on Monday makes me believe the only reason he's still here is because we have a short week against the Steelers. I cannot understand for the life of me how this could happen. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I care too much. Maybe I expect too much. This has been a bad franchise for years. But I keep believing, and they do it to me again. Let me give you a quick number right here. Final 2 minutes of the game. Nick Chubb scores. I'm going to touch on that in a second because the Nick Chubb hate is blowing my mind. It is
it's crazy.
making me, if I hadn't shaved my head, I would be pulling my hair out over how people are treating the most humble, most team-first guy on the roster. He's just an incredible person on top of being an all-pro type running back. So I want to read this for you. Minute 44. Let's see. Defense gives up a 60-plus yard touchdown to Corey Davis, in which Corey Davis had 20 yards by himself. 20 yards in a prevent. The next play, they score right away. Okay, still we're up 6 points. Onside kick. Amari Cooper, being a leader, said, hey, I got to make that onside kick play. I respect that, but holy crap. You come back Joe Flacco leads them down the field, just slicing and dicing. 53-yard game-winning drive. Incredible. The lack of pressure, the lack of accountability in the secondary. We have talented players, but they are in a shell of themselves right now. It is so hard to watch these guys try to cover players. Garrett Wilson is a good player. Garrett Wilson was not covered on Sunday. The running back out of the backfield, Breece Hall, was not covered on Sunday. Easy touchdowns. Joe Flacco, I came on this podcast last week and I said, Joe Flacco can't beat you if he throws 50 times. Joe Flacco threw the ball 44 times and beat us. He threw for 307 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Browns secondary. That's criminal. Somebody should have been fired for that effort. It's actually unbelievable. Now, Kinsey, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Mm-hmm. If you had to guess, what place do you think Joe Flacco is in passing yards in the league right now through 2 games?
He had like 3. I know he's like north of 600. He has to be like top 3, top 4.
As of right now, Joe Flacco is 3rd in the league in passing yards. That's 1 yard nuts. Behind Josh Allen.
That's nuts.
I can't even fathom. Next, the Browns defense has given up 55 points this season. 34 of those points are in the 4th quarter.
Oh my God.
That's 5 touchdowns pretty much. If you want to split hairs, whatever. That is awful defense. It's embarrassing level of defense. After halftime, the drop-off is insane. Denzel Ward, on Sunday, graded out at a 33.5 on Pro Football Focus. That is the lowest grade ever for a corner. It's that bad. It was that bad. There has to be changes by Sunday. It's impossible how bad this is. Credit to the Jets. They went out and they took it, but it felt like we gave it to them. We had the game in the bag. Up 13 with 1:44 to go. That is what losing franchises do. Losing franchises. I hate to say it. I want them to win, but holy shit, that was bad. I've got a whole thing here. Carolina, 60-yard plus touchdown. No resistance.
Oh, you have to Robbie Anderson, right?
Corey Davis, 60-yard touchdown. No resistance. This can't happen. It cannot happen. And Nick Chubb is my favorite player on the team. He is, I believe he is a top 3 running back in the league. Pure runner, he might be him and Jonathan Taylor, whatever. Derrick Henry's still phenomenal, whatever. It's an opinion. It's a fandom. It's biased. Blaming a guy who had 3 touchdowns and damn near 90 yards because he scored, a guy who does every single thing right. Scored a touchdown to put your team up 2 touchdowns. And the media and other people are saying it's his fault he didn't go out of bounds. That is so impossible. That is the most, you've got to skew your mind just to make that work. I'm so frustrated with the media right now. And people telling me, today, Nick Chubb comes out at the press conference, he takes ownership. He said, that's on me. I've got to make a smarter play. Bullshit. You did what you needed to do. It's not your fault. The defense is terrible. Terrible. Secondary might be the most terrible all-time talented secondary. Denzel Ward is supposed to be a lockdown corner. He is the highest played corner on the team. He's the best rated corner on the team. He's been awful. He's got to be better. Stop pointing fingers at one another. Stop telling this other guy it's your fault. Make a play for your team. Jacoby Brissett is spinning out of tackles. He's throwing. He's running for 7 yards. He's keeping plays alive. And then these guys get on the field and it doesn't look like they want to be there. It's terrible. So I'm going to, after saying all that, I'm going to give you the floor. Talk to me about the Jets. Give me the high points of the Jets. I need to see, obviously, we got to pay up on our bet. I want you to tell me what player I need to put as my Abby for Twitter. I'm going to show everybody that on my phone here. Lay into it because that was a fantastic comeback, even if I believe we are better than the Jets. I think we're a better team. You guys won the game, though. So please go ahead and tell me because, damn, man, I am frustrated about how this weekend went.
Jets, Jets. I would be lying if I said that after Nick Chubb scored that touchdown, I thought there was any hope. But, like, the fact that we came back and won, obviously, like, a collapse like that isn't just pure Jets. It's, like, part of a Browns collapse. But they just kept fighting. So, hopefully, this is, like, a turning point with Salah. He finally inspired the guys. But as for the high points, our skill positions. No, I don't think we have, like, any top 5 guys. Maybe not even top 10. But between, like, Elijah Moore, we was using Braxton, like, on, like, a lot of end rounds. They used him as, like, a discount Tyreek. Garrett Wilson, Carter, and Hall, like, we have weapons. I'm just praying that Zach, if he utilizes these weapons nice, we could be like an offense, not like a dangerous offense, just like something feisty. And as for the defense, in the first 3 quarters, the run defense was pretty good. Like, I remember the announcer verbatim said, he said something like, if I were to tell you Carter was outdoing Chubb and Hall was outdoing Hunt, you would think the Jets would be winning. And then I saw a tweet that, like, late third quarter, Quentin went back to the locker room, and it just seems like Chubb and Hunt went crazy after it. Like, in the fourth quarter, we were just getting gashed, and I thought it was over. And the defense, we were getting there, but I think we only had, like, hit Brissett about, like, 3-4 times. I know for sure we got him once in the clutch, but besides that, the first play of the game, letting him spin out a tackle for, like, 10 yards, that can't happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen this week because we're playing Burrow, so we have to get him on the ground like at least 3-4 times. But yeah, that's between the receiving core and the secondary. The secondary also impressed me. Like, besides that miscommunication in the end zone, Sauce did a real good job. It's going to be a heavy investment because he didn't give up a touchdown in years. So, like, every time it looks like someone's about to be giving up on him, like, I hold my breath. Like, no, I hope he never gets scored on. It's going to happen eventually, but you know, as of right now, I'm just like, yo, please don't happen. But I forgot who made the catch for y'all, but he lost control of it. That was an amazing catch. He was like leaning. He got both
in the
down.
corner, in the back of the red. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Oh yeah, so
he just bobbled it a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I was so lucky that wasn't a completed catch because for Sauce not to give him a touchdown in like over a year for that to be the first touchdown. But you know, luckily it was ruled incomplete. But yeah, so wide receiver corps, even the running backs impressed me. Running defense still looks really good besides the fourth quarter, and secondary is promising. Some miscommunications. Oh no, the penalties. I got something. That was. It was bad on both sides, but my lord, it seems like every run we had at 10 yards, which is called back. So I know as Nick Wright says, you don't ignore in victory what you will bring up in defeat. If we had lost that game, I just would have been complaining, saying we gotta clean things up, this, that, and the third. But you know, winning masked that a little bit, but still the penalties, man, you gotta. It's not every game we're gonna have a 13-point comeback in under 2 minutes. So penalties are going to kill us. So we gotta clean that up, clean the penalties up. Keep playing run defense. Skill position guys, do your things, and hopefully we're like a 6-7 win team.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of what you said, I think Garrett Wilson has the talent to get into the upper echelon of receivers. It's just going to take time because, quarterback. You just got to, Joe Flacco's been playing. He's been playing good football. I can't take that away from the guy, but he's not your starter. So you're still not building the chemistry with your starter. Other than that, I like the pieces. I like the way you guys fight. Salah is the kind of guy who wants to get in and have a fight, He's that kind of guy. So let's go to the next order of business.
I have to defend Chubb real quick because, like, I agree with you. Like, it's literally insane. Like, bro, he put them up 2 scores under 2 minutes, and I'm not sure we had all our timeouts, but even if we did, that's irrelevant. 2 scores under 2 minutes. There's actually no way you blame a guy for scoring. That's actually insane.
It's so frustrating. I just so next order of business. Who am I changing my avatar for the week?
You are changing your avatar to the future Hall of Famer. Hopefully he's a Jet forever. He will be retired as a Jet. Braxton Berrios.
Braxton Berrios. Kick returner extraordinaire. All right, let me get a picture pulled up. I'm going to make it this picture so everybody can see. Let's see.
Braxton Berrios.
Let me save it for you guys so you can see what it's going to be.
I was debating Garrett Wilson, but he went to Ohio State, so I think you got some secret love for him.
I would have been excited.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I remember when I told him Braxton Berrios was a Pro Bowler, he laughed. So I got to do Braxton.
Okay, here we go. Upload folder.
Braxton Berrios.
Okay. This is the picture I'm using right here, everybody. Let me change it. I'm going to tweet it out right now. I'm going to change mine to Braxton Berrios Stan for my name. And then here I'm going to show you guys the picture that I'm using. Hopefully you guys can see that. Braxton Berrios, all pro. This doesn't feel good. So there you go. If you guys want to see that, at Doug Stevens, STEPHENS 35. We'll tweet it on the House of Agendas account. I don't feel great about it. It hurts my feelings. Congrats to the Jets. But I have one more thing before I go. Not so fast. I'm doubling down. Here we go.
He's doubling down, y'all.
Browns got the Steelers coming in this week. I got the Browns by 3. We're not giving up yet. Let's go. Number 2, guys, this week. I want to hear about your week 2 overreactions. What did you see? What did you overreact to?
Now, I would bring up the Colts because, I did have them as, a 10, 11 win team. But they weren't, really the talk of the town. The Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals, will be lucky to make the wild card. I already thought their run last year was a bit Cinderella-y, even though that's not a word. But they won, to get to the Super Bowl, they won all of their games on, the last possession. I knew that wasn't sustainable, but I didn't see them starting off 0-2 in that revamped offensive line getting bullied like this. Now, granted, it was T.J. Watt and Michael Parsons, but still, he's getting sacked 4 or 5 times a game and pressured way more than that. It's just it's unacceptable. And we have them coming up, and while we don't have a top tier pass rush, I'm just hoping we get there a bit. But yeah, the Bengals will be lucky to make the wild card.
Lucky to make the wild card. Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb for my overreaction this week. I believe, now I said last week, we probably got a little ahead of ourselves with some of the Kirk Cousins love and the Vikings love. That was probably an overreaction. Clearly, Kirk Cousins cannot win under the bright lights.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to say that the combination of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle will propel Tua into a top 5 MVP vote.
Oh, that's...
The reason I say that is, to me, right now, they are the best duo of receivers in the league.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't love the Dolphins' defense, but I believe that Tua and those two are going to have to score points to win games going forward. They got a really tough challenge this week against the Bills. That's the Bills. Yeah. Obviously, we've gone over this. They're my Super Bowl pick. This is a big measuring game for the Dolphins. So I'm going to overreact to how Tua's played so far. Top 5 MVP, could go higher. wanted to touch on something. We ran a Twitter poll this week. We said who had the worst loss of the weekend, and we had over 40 votes. The Colts came in at first with the worst loss at 39% of the vote. I also had the Browns in there. They were at 21%. The Bengals came in second at 17%, and then the Raiders fell behind with 13%. Colts, man, I just wanted to touch on, you go out and you get Matt Ryan, and you replace Carson Wentz with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's stats through the first two games, 60% completion, which is on the low end for most quarterbacks these days.
Yeah.
He's got one passing touchdown. He's got 4 interceptions. As a team, they've got 2 offensive touchdowns, one rushing and 1 passing. This was supposed to be the division winner. This is the team that's supposed to maybe building on last year. This is supposed to be a playoff team. They are 8 of 25 on third downs. That's 32%, 33%. You can't win if Matt Ryan is playing this pedestrian. Jonathan Taylor is playing against loaded boxes.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 215 yards already, only 1 touchdown. They've got to be better. So I just was going to touch on that. They're 0-1-1. They got the tie against Houston, and the bad loss, the Jags blanked them. What are your thoughts on the Colts? I still believe they're without Shaq Leonard, but they still got players, man.
Yeah, that's actually like who I voted too, but come on, like to get left on 0 by the Jaguars, that's just embarrassing. I thought Matt Ryan not would be the missing piece as of like he's his MVP form, but I thought, all right, good defense, good wideout, great running back, Matt Ryan, just like be Wentz with less turnovers.
Right.
And now he's like Wentz with less yards and less touchdowns, so it's not looking good right now. Granted, I still have them winning the division because the Texans, no. The Titans, boy.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, and
I think Derrick Henry had 12 carries for 15 yards.
Yeah, that was his. And granted, I can't put that all on him because like I was watching the game, like they in the boxes isn't even a question. They were damn near in a goal line every time Henry was lined up in the background. But yeah. So in the Jaguars, like I said, I had them peaking at like 7 wins. So yeah, I still think the Colts would get it together, but boy, these opening 2 games have not been good. And I think they have Kansas City, so yeah.
They're Kansas City's at Indianapolis.
Yeah, so
we'll touch on that shortly. I also wanted to say, Raiders, come on, guys, you got your fans popping champagne bottles in the stands in the fourth quarter. I saw a guy shaking the bottle up, champagne. Kyler is a good, very solid, really good player. You got beat by one guy pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler carried them up and down the field in the fourth quarter. I think the Raiders are better than the Cardinals still.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, you can't get beat by one guy. You just can't do it. I don't think that's a bad loss, but I think that hurts more when you get beat like that by one guy.
Yeah,
you couldn't stop one guy.
Because he just looked like he was like another level. Like he looked like he wasn't a human on that field. Like to allow somebody to get 80 yards on one play, I'm not expecting a lineman to catch him, but somebody has to stop that. Like at a certain point, after like 1 or 2 times of him just darting around, running like he has unlimited stamina, you got to put a spy on it too, a contain. You got to do something. Yeah, that was just, if he was just like throwing Brady darts, like for a comeback, okay, but for him to just say, yeah, I'm a better athlete than you guys, deal with it, and come back like that, get out there.
He flexed. He was definitely flexing his athleticism in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on our poll. We're going to try to run a poll every Sunday to get some more interaction with you guys. So I do appreciate everybody who voted in that, who liked and retweeted it. Thank you guys for all the votes. Obviously, We touched on the Bengals. Their woes on their offensive line are still apparent. Browns we touched on pretty heavily, and then yeah. So going to move on to our next order to talk about our Week 2 records.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think you did?
Well, I know the Commanders lost me. The Vikings lost me.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders lost me. I know there was another team that I had. Colts lost me.
So based on what I had you at 6-10,
Mm-hmm.
and I had me at 7-10, or 7-9. I'm sorry, 7-9. So through Week 1, I had the advantage. 7-9, 6-10. We're going to obviously keep a running tally of the records as we go on. But I just wanted to gloat a little bit that I looks like I beat you Week 1 or Week 2. I mean, this week we're going to jump right back into our picks. Any games stick out to you that you're really excited to watch this weekend?
As crazy as it sounds, Cowboys Giants.
Really? Why is that?
Because I just want to see, like, even though the Cowboys offense isn't that elite, I want to see like if the Giants defense will keep flying around like this, because they have been impressive the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I just want to see how they would do. And on the flip side, their offense hasn't been that good. So I want to see like if the Cowboys could put together a third good great defensive performance. So that's something I'm actually looking forward to. Plus it's Monday night. And you have Michael Parsons, Saquon. You have like some good star-studded names. So yeah. I'm very excited to see that.
Okay.
And of course Brady Rogers. Of course.
Yeah, well, of course, the battle of the 12s.
Yeah.
My game of the week for me is going to be Bills at Dolphins. Yeah. I think that is a potential. Those are the potential AFC East winners.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bills are better, but this is how we tell very early. Can the Dolphins play with the Bills?
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward to that game the most. Under the radar game, let's see. I'm going to go with under the radar. I want to see if the Vikings can bounce back against the Lions.
Yeah.
After a pretty crappy performance on Monday last night. Can they bounce back? Can they win? They are at home, so I just want to see how that goes. So that's my under the radar game, just for agenda purposes. I did pick them to go further than I probably should have. But all right, here we go. You ready? Pick some games.
Yep.
Okay. Starting on Thursday night, we've got the Steelers at Cleveland.
Steelers at Cleveland.
Yep.
That's going to be like the first of 21 bowl.
Yep.
Any bettors out there? Pick the under. And where is it?
It's in Cleveland.
I'm just gonna say the Steelers. I think
all right.
It's gonna be a field goal game.
Yep.
The Steelers, they weren't that bad this past weekend. It's just like, Trubisky's limited. And I think it's just gonna be a defensive battle, and I trust Tomlin.
Defense is not good right now.
Yeah. I think he's like a top 3, definitely top 5, top 3 coach. So yeah, I'm just gonna trust Tomlin to win an ugly muck-it up game.
All right. As I said earlier, I am going to ride with my guys. I'm going to take Cleveland by 3 at home on a very important Thursday night game. Kind of early season. If we don't win this, the season just starts to spiral. So it feels like a must-win game. If you win this game, you start to forget about the Jets game. So that's got to be the remedy. I got Browns by 3. Next, we're going to go Texans at Bears in the battle of possibly an unwatchable game.
I got the Bears. I just think I'm just going to trust Fields way more than I trust Mills, and it's not like either team has a play that you can say, oh yeah, that's going to be the game changer. But I just got the Bears.
I'm going to go with the Texans. The only reason I'm going to go with the Texans is I think their young running back is due for a breakout game. So Pierce is his name, young guy. And Brandon Cooks is still very serviceable. If Davis Mills can get him the ball in a couple of decent spots, I like them. I'm going to go with the Texans in a very close game. Not that I dislike Fields. I just don't think it just hasn't clicked for them yet. So that win in the Mud Bowl, the Rain Bowl, the first week is something.
Yeah.
I don't think the 49ers would lose to them again in a normal game. I'm going to go with the Texans in a close one. That takes us into Chiefs at Colts.
I got the Chiefs
Yep.
by, if that game is still a game by mid-third quarter, I'll be shocked. Granted, I think the Colts they can't look any worse. But I think the Colts are going to look better, but if your offense is in the mud and you're like struggling to crack 20 and you're going against the Chiefs, good luck. And like even though it wasn't like the Chiefs won, but like it wasn't the prettiest game, the fact that like if Bosa and Matt couldn't like really make him look awful, there's no way the Colts defense is. So yeah, I got the Chiefs by like 10+.
All right, Chiefs by 10. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs also. There's just no way in my mind the Colts could even keep up if they wanted to. As good as Jonathan Taylor is, he can keep you a game close for a while, but he's going to wear down himself. Mahomes had some shaky throws last week, but that's a different level of competition.
Yeah.
The Chargers are on a different level. I still believe the Chiefs are a contender for the playoff run, playoff push. I'm going to go Chiefs by 14. I just think they're better. That leads into next game. Is that big game I was talking about? Bills at Dolphins.
Bills Dolphins. Now, I think that's going to be a really high scoring affair. Besides, even though the Bills defense has looked really good this year. The Titans they just look bad offensively, and that week 1 Stafford thingy, I'm not gonna say like a Super Bowl hangover, but just something just looked off. It looked like he was like, I'm passing the cup, nothing else matters. They couldn't establish the run. Now I don't think the Finns are gonna have like 6 touchdowns again. That's absolutely insane. But I do think it's gonna be high scoring, and I think the pass rush of the Bills is gonna be better than the pass rush of the Dolphins. So I have the Bills by about, I think it's going to be like a 7 to 10 point game, like most of the third quarter. But I got the Bills taking
it. We're going to agree on that one also. The Bills, I'm going to keep saying it until somebody proves me wrong. I believe they are the best football team in the NFL right now. I think the Dolphins have came a long way, but their defense hasn't caught up to their offense. And to beat the Bills, you have to play both sides at a high level.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ready to compete on both ends. I think the Bills could outscore them. Tua's getting better. He's not Josh Allen yet. Yeah, they have 2 good receivers, but Diggs is really damn good. And if Gabe Davis is back, that just gives another weapon. He's a talented guy. Knox got into the fold a little bit last night. That's going to only make them more diverse. I'm going to take the Bills. Take the Bills by 10. I think the Bills by 10 seems fair. Would not be surprised if the Dolphins are in it late, but I think Josh Allen takes them over the top.
Yeah.
You're going to have good weather in Miami, so we should see some points. I do look forward to seeing some of those athletes and get out and going. Maybe we see another crazy performance from that duo in Miami. They haven't had a duo like that since LeBron and D-Wade, so look out. Next, we're going to go back to the NFC North. We got the Lions at the Vikings. This is This feels like a game which could either, uh, one team could rise up from this, and one team could really start to sputter back out.
Yeah.
Last week, I was impressed with the Lions. I think their defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson, coming off a 3-sack game, he looks like he wants to be that defensive player, rookie defensive player of the year. Who do you have in that game?
Even though it's week 3, I think this is a semi-must-win for the Vikings.
Okay.
Because, like, everybody was, including us, were on them after week 1.
Yep.
Week 2, got embarrassed. Now, if week 3, you come back and you lose a divisional game, when, like, we all expect you to be better than the Lions, that's going to be bad, and they're going to have to sit with that for a while. And while I do think the Lions are very feisty, they just, like, embarrass the Commanders, I think the Vikings have to get back. And it's not a prime time, so Kirk, go rack up like 290. Jay Jettis, do you think?
Yep.
So, yeah, I got the Vikings by a touchdown. I don't think they're immensely better than the Lions.
Yep. I'm going to I'd love to disagree with you just to have the back and forth. I don't think the Lions are there yet. I think Amon St. Brown is very talented. I think DeAndre Swift is very talented. I just like Jefferson and Cook better. I think they have the better version of those two. And like you said, without Kirk Cousins being on national TV, he should be Kirk Cousins that we know, 2 touchdowns, 230 to 250. If he throws an interception, it's not the end of the game. But last night, three interceptions and you're out of the game. So
yeah.
I think we get a Kirk Cousins bounce back along with the Vikings bounce back. Also, I think Justin Jefferson's got to come out and ball out.
Yeah.
He did not. Darius Slay was on his ass. You've got to come out. If you want to be the best receiver in the league, you got to do it every time. So I think he's gonna have. I think they're just gonna have to bounce back as a whole. If Jefferson bounces back heavy, Kirk's gonna bounce back heavy. The Vikings are gonna win. I think the Lions can hang with them for a half, maybe 3/4, but I would like to believe the Vikings put them away in the 4th.
Right.
So I'm going to go Vikings with you on that one. Here, let's see. We got the Ravens at the Pats up in New England. So that should be an interesting one for the Patriots.
Yeah. While Baltimore looked terrible in that 4th quarter, let's not kid ourselves. They were running all over the Dolphins.
Yep.
And I don't think they're going to embarrass the Patriots like that. But the Patriots can't keep up offensively.
Right.
So if Baltimore even has like 14 by halftime, I think the Patriots just can't keep up with that. And Lamar, he was looking dangerous. Even though it's not like he's the reason they folded in the 4th quarter. He was looking dangerous, and I don't think the Patriots can do anything.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what you said, the Ravens are just faster. They're better athletes. Lamar's going to be the best player on the field on Sunday. I think the Ravens beat them pretty bad. I think it gets ugly in New England. Mac Jones has not been impressive. He finally had a receiver make a play on what was a 50-50 ball against the Patriots to score that touchdown. I'm not a Mac Jones guy. I'm going to go the Ravens big in New England. Jumping ahead, we got your team. We got the Bengals coming into New York. This should be interesting.
Yeah. Well, last time they came to New York, that was the birth of Mike White, the game that put him in the Hall of Fame.
Mike White, the legend.
Yeah, the legend.
The White legend.
Mike White. Unfortunately, Mike White won't be playing this weekend, but it'll be Flacco. And I'm not just about to sit here and act like Flacco could repeat what he did last week every single week, but it's not like the Bengals are going to require something crazy, at least in my opinion. So if we just get after the quarterback, because it's clearly possible to do versus the Bengals, and get the ball to our skill position players. We got to get it
Yep.
to Moore a lot. We got to get it to Barrios a lot. Of course, we got to get it to Wilson a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean forget about the run game because Hall and Carter, they're not top tier backs, but they are very good. Like they can get you anywhere between like 40 and 70 a game apiece. So yeah,
Right.
so between that and it's looking like the Bengals just like have some things to figure out. I'm praying that this isn't the game that they get it together. We see like 3 touchdowns from Chase, and then we just see Joe Burr all over Twitter. I'm hoping that's not the game that they get it together. But yeah, I have the Jets by a field goal.
I keep coming into these weeks, and I just expect Joe Burrow to explode. Um, I think this is the week. I think the Bengals explode this week. I think Jamar Chase. I think he gets going this week. I've got the Bengals by 7. Um, if Quentin Williams is out, I don't know what's the diagnosis on him yet.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not playing, and the Bengals watch that Browns film, they're going to be able to run with Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
And then that's going to only help Jamar Chase get open more. I got the Bengals by 7. Jumping ahead, we got Eagles at Commodores. This should be an easy one.
If you asked me prior to last night's Monday night game, I'd have probably took the Commanders, but
Really?
yeah, but after that Eagles offense, or maybe it was just bad Vikings, but when I tell you they were doing whatever they wanted, I think before halftime, Hurts had like 2 rushing touchdowns and he passed like 170, so they were just doing whatever they wanted on offense. And the defense, I was sleeping on it. They could actually play D.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the Commanders, while if they win, I won't be surprised. I still think they're a good team, even though like they had an awful first half versus the Lions last week. But I can't go against the Eagles right now.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a little more faith in the Commanders than I do. I was impressed with the Eagles game last night, beating the Vikings, so I was high on last week. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think Hurts is rounding into the player he needs to be for the franchise.
Right.
So I got the Eagles, and I got the Eagles by 10. I think they're ready to go. Next, we've got Saints at Panthers in Carolina. Jameis Winston. I don't think anybody's more hot and cold than Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
he's got 4 fractures in his back. He's playing with back injuries. And you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead first because I don't know why. I got the Saints. I got the Saints winning. I don't know why. The Panthers feel like they're on the verge of breaking through and getting a win. But I don't know why. I think Kamara comes back this week. That takes a little pressure off Jameis, a little pressure off Taysom Hill to make those big runs. I'm going to go with the Saints over the Panthers in a close game in Carolina.
Wait, what was the score? It broke up for a second.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? I have them by 3.
Yeah, by 3. I actually have the Panthers. Yeah, I was about to say I don't think they're gonna lose at the buzzer again. And while Baker hasn't looked that good this year, CMC he did get on track. And the Panthers aren't really losing because of their defense. So I think they have to be able to turn Jameis over a bit. So yeah, with both of those factors, I got the Panthers in like by a touchdown. It's gonna be like a close game.
All right. Going next, we got Jags at Chargers. I'm just gonna. There's no way the Jags can score with the Chargers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing with Trevor and Christian Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a good connection going down the road. But Chargers, uber talented. Herbert, one of the best throwers of the ball in the league.
Right.
I got the Chargers big in that one.
Yeah, I also have the Chargers. Now, granted, I'm not like some people who think the Chargers are just this unstoppable force, these phenoms. But
Right.
I do think they're better than the Jaguars. So yes, I have them by like at least a touchdown.
Okay. Moving on, we got Rams at Cardinals.
Rams haven't been that impressive this year. They almost got 28-3 by the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna trust them. I think McVay is like, all right, we having a shaky start to the season. Let's get it going, guys. So yeah, got the Rams.
Okay. I'm going to take the Rams also. Until the fourth quarter, the Cardinals did not look good. James Conner also got hurt. Haven't seen the update on him yet. I think it's going to be hard for Kyler to do everything again like he did last in the fourth quarter against the Raiders.
Right.
I think the Rams have a little bit better. Donald chasing you around. I think that's going to be a little bit more difficult. I got the Rams winning in a close one. Next game, we got Atlanta at Seattle. Battle of the Birds. Who you got there?
I got Seattle, even though they got like drummed by the 49ers. I can't buy into Falcons stock. I actually had them as like the team that's going to finish with the worst record. So yeah, I think Seattle got this.
All right, then I'm going to go with Atlanta. I've been impressed with how they're fighting. I think if Jalen Ramsey doesn't make an incredible individual play on that interception, the Falcons could have the lead right there.
Yeah.
That was a great individual play by Ramsey. I like Pitts. I like the young kid, Drake London. I still like Cordell Patterson, even though he's out of position. He doesn't have a position. He's the running back. He can catch passes. I like that about them. I don't trust Marcus Mariota still, but the way they're fighting, I don't think the Seahawks are on the same level as the Rams or the Saints. I'm going to get the Falcons to win in a close one.
Right.
Going ahead, now we have the battle of the 12s, Packers at Bucks.
Bucks are 2-0, but it's a nasty 2-0.
Yeah.
In the Packers, 1-1, but early in the season, so records might skew a few things. But I do think the Packers have looked better, even though they did beat up on the Bears, and Rodgers for some reason just historically owns them.
Yep.
I don't think they're gonna hold Rodgers down like to 14 points and have him look terrible like they did 2 years ago when he went down there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and with the Bucks missing like a lot of their help on offense, like between the offensive line, skill position players here and there, and they're not gonna have Mike Evans. I think he's suspended.
Well, he's appealing it, so we'll see. I don't know. We don't know for sure yet.
Like, I don't even know what he's really going to appeal, bro. We saw you do it. But yeah, I got the Packers.
Yeah. I don't bet against Tom Brady in big games. Aaron Rodgers is a phenom himself. I trust Tom Brady throwing to Scotty Miller and Chris Godwin and some of those guys more than I do Aaron Rodgers throwing to people that he didn't even name by name when he was talking about his receivers. So I think the Bucs defense is very talented. I think Green Bay potentially has a good defense. We got to see a little bit more. Beating up on the Bears is not impressive.
It skipped a bit on that part.
I was saying beating up on the Bears is not impressive for me. I'm going to go the Bucs in a close one in Tampa Bay. I think that'll help too. Next game is the 49ers versus Broncos Sunday night game.
Russell Wilson,
Hey, you call pass or call run. The guy's got to know. That guy is the worst, man. He is just yapping, and you can see the guys. You're annoying the guys around you. I can't stand. I just can't stand him. I really can't. I think he's one of the fakest people I've ever seen. I can't do it. But go ahead with your pick. I'm sorry. That was I had to get that out there.
You got to get it together, bro. I coming into the year, I had you with like a top 6, top 7 quarterback. You right now, not even like top 15. But I think you have to get together at at one point or another. So,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of knows the 49ers. He's been in that division for a while. So just
Right.
I'm going out on a limb and I'm saying the Broncos. But yeah, man, it's just you gotta if they lose and he has like another like 61%, 190
Yeah.
yard game, I won't be surprised. But yeah, I got the Broncos.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm going to go with Jimmy G. I know people have made this statement the last couple of days. So I'm going to piggyback off some people like Dan Patrick, Cowherd. Not to the same extent as Cowherd did because of the injury comment, but the team runs better with Jimmy G. For some reason, I understand Lance has not had the same amount of time. I just think the guys believe in Jimmy G more. The Broncos have done nothing to impress me.
Right.
I don't think they're people have talked about them having a decent defense. I didn't see anything that was. I mean, sure it's low scoring, but your offense isn't scoring, so I just haven't been impressed with the Broncos. I like the 49ers in that one. Moving back to, let's see, Monday night, game you mentioned earlier between the Cowboys and the Giants, another game in the New York area. Some would call it New Jersey. Cowboys at Giants. What do we got?
Ooh, this is going to be tough because I'm going to have to hitch my wagon to Daniel Jones or Cooper Rush. I'm just going to say the Giants. It's
okay. You think the Giants are going to start the year 3-0?
Yes, it's crazy, man. Like
New York's favorite team, the Giants. That's insane. That's interesting.
Like now, granted, I still don't think they're good. Even when they go 3-0, or if they go 3-0, I still won't be like, oh yeah, maybe they're a sleeper team. Maybe like no, I still don't have them even making a wild card. But I do have them starting 3-0. I don't see Cooper Rush winning 2 in a row, and the Giants have been looking good. And unless Micah Parsons just takes that game over, the Cowboys really don't have a win con. So yeah, I got the Giants by like, I guess like a field goal.
I'm going to pick the Cowboys because I think the Giants have been better on defense. Offense has not been fantastic. Game one, Saquon Barkley took over. We don't see that consistency from him yet. That's what we've been wanting to see. We talked about it last week. We need some consistency from him. I think Micah Parsons wrecks the Giants' game plan. I think you're going to see a lot of running away from Micah Parsons. And then that's going to set up the Cowboys knowing which way you're going. I don't think the Giants have a receiver that scares the Cowboys to the extent. I think Diggs is going to be able to try to make plays on the ball. I still don't trust Daniel Jones with his running or holding onto the ball. It would not surprise me if Parsons had a big strip sack that changed the game. So I'm going to take the Giants in a close one, like you were saying, but I think the Cowboys and Micah Parsons makes that one play more than the Giants can make.
Yeah, this is really crazy. Like one of those teams is really about to win the game. It's just wow.
Right. It's the Giants can be 3-0, the Cowboys can be 2-1, and neither team is blowing the doors off anyway.
Yeah,
all right. Well, we talked about a lot of teams. We talked about some good players. I was going to ask you, who was your player of the week for week 2?
Now, without that fourth quarter, it would have been Lamar.
Yep. Great
game.
And
just to cheat for offensive rookie of the week, Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
But player Diggs, like I think he had like 3 tubs for $150. He
had 12 catches, 150 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, so like it's hard not to say when somebody has like 3 receiving touchdowns, 150 yards. It's hard not to give it to them. So yeah, it's Diggs. It would have been Lamar clearly, but that fourth quarter was because they lost, so can't give that to him. So yeah.
I know I said player of the week, so this is going to be kind of a change up on that one. I'm going to take Miami's Big 3 as the player of the week. Tua, Waddle, Hill. Tua had six throwing touchdowns. The huge fourth quarter comeback. He threw for 470 yards. Hill and Waddle combined for 22 catches, 360 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Insane.
To be honest, we may never see that again.
Yeah,
That's insanity. Like I said earlier, that's the best duo in the league right now. My second candidate, just because of the level of ease that it took, I wanted to shout out Josh Allen because 26-38, 318, 4 TDs, they could have scored 70 points.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like they could have just piled it on, go. Him and Diggs are in a zone right now together. So I just wanted to shout them out. A couple other guys. There was a big week for receivers.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson had the 2 touchdowns, the game-winning touchdown. Like we said, Diggs had a big game. Hill and Waddle, massive game. Amon St. Brown had 9 catches for 116 and 2 TDs. Mike Williams on Thursday had 8 for 113 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp had 10 catches for 115. Wide receivers are making plays right now. It's a good time in the league for wide receivers. So I just want to shout out a couple of those guys because they really had quite a good games this week.
Yeah, and it's crazy how like the receivers are the ones going crazy, and the running backs, at least the 2 we had coming into the year, being Henry and Taylor, looked like, I'm not gonna say falling off, but like they haven't been themselves. So yeah, it's like the receivers are trending up, and like the top tier running backs are just not looking good right now.
So big week for receivers. I want you to come up with your 5 top teams in a power ranking system, and I'm going to write down who you've got, and we're going to see how that shakes out next week. So your power 5 right now in the NFL, I want you to start at number 5.
All right, we're eventually gonna have to like come up with a name for this because I know like Nick calls it like his tier list. Stephen A has the Stephen A list. I don't know. Maybe we could do like maybe like ranking the villages or like the Yonko bounties, something like that. But yeah, anyway,
we'll come up with something. I like that.
Yeah. For number 5, I have the Ravens. Without that loss, without that choke job, they would have been like higher on the list. Right above the Ravens at number 4. I have the Dolphins, like you just went over that big 3, that offense just looks very dangerous. Number 3, the Eagles. No pun intended, they're just flying all over the place on offense and defense. Offense has been outstanding these first 2 weeks. The defense, it was bad versus the Lions, but they clamped up the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the Chiefs. Now.
Okay.
I'm not sure revealing number 1.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure revealing number 1, the Bills. I think the Chiefs are better than the Bills, but you know, they're power ranking. So it's just like what we've seen so far this season. I think even if they played a game this week, I would have the Chiefs, but the Bills have had the opening better 2 games. So yes, Chiefs at 2, Bills at 1, but Mahomes still over Allen. Don't you ever forget that. All right, you go.
Okay, so let me read that one more time for everybody. Bills at 1, Chiefs at 2, Eagles at 3, Dolphins at 4, Baltimore at 5.
Yep.
Okay. Only one NFC team on that list. Interesting enough. AFC is very top heavy this season, as we've seen. I'm going to start at my number 5. My number 5 is the Dolphins. Like we said, we've harped on it quite a bit. Best duo in the league at receiver. Good tight end. Very, very impressive comeback win against your fifth best team, Baltimore. Baltimore would be in my top 10 if we had 10. So that is a very strong win for their resume.
Right.
Beating the Patriots is, but they beat them pretty handily. So 4, I'm going to go with the Eagles fly. We saw them win a high-scoring game against the Lions, and then we saw their defense snuff out what I think is a good offense in the Vikings. Hurts' ability to move with the ball, gain extra yards. He's working on becoming a better passer. A.J. Brown. drew a blank on that guy, the other receiver.
Smith, Devontae Smith.
Smith, Quez Watkins, very talented deep threat.
Yeah, they have weapons.
They've got good players. They got a solid group of running backs. I think they're going to only get better. 3, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. They are a little surprising on here, but they've won 2 games ugly. Sometimes in the NFL you got to win ugly. It can't be touchdowns all the time. Tom's still Tom for me. I got him as the GOAT, but that's a different debate. I expect their offense to catch up. I think they're going to only get better as they spend more time together on the field. And their defense is very good. They're very, very good. Number 2, I had the Chiefs also. I was impressed with their win against the Chargers. And I still think they lost Hill, but I think they're a complete team. I think they are good on both sides of the ball. They got a good mix of young and old. They still got the best tight end in the league. They still got like top 2 quarterbacks. You know, if you want to put Mahomes at 1, you put Allen at 1. You know, that's we're picking hairs on that kind of conversation.
It's close.
So, and then that's going to be, we're going to have the same number 1. I got Buffalo also. I think they are the best team overall. I just wanted to say, in their 2 games so far this year, they've outscored their opponents 72-17.
Insane.
72-17, and in one of those games, they played against the reigning champs. That deserves the number 1 spot in my opinion. So
wait, now that you mentioned that, I don't think they gave up any points in the second half.
It was all first half, and then it was never close.
Because I know for sure Derrick Henry scored in the first quarter.
He had the 1 rushing touchdown.
Yeah. So they skunked them in the second half, and the Rams. I think the Rams game was tied at half like 10-10. So they haven't gave up.
10-10, and they never scored again.
Oh my God, they have not gave up a second half score.
The Bills.
That's crazy.
Look like a juggernaut. I mean, the Chiefs are good. That's great, but that the way the Bills are playing, it seems like it's a different level right now. We're gonna return to our Would You Rather. This week, I'm going to ask you: would you rather participate in the Squid Games, or would you rather step up and volunteer for your district in the world of the Hunger Games?
Now, with the Hunger Games, I forgot. Is there like a prize at the end?
I mean, if you win, you become like the most famous person in the world, and I believe there's some financial gain, but you've also got to survive like 12 highly skilled people.
Then I'll go to Squid Games. Now, granted, I think the first game, I think I could do that. Like, you know, the red light, green light, I could do that. The cookie thing, it'll take me a while, but when I see what other people are doing, I'll be able to do that. Okay. The one that scares me is the tile one, because you literally
the glass tiles.
Yeah, this literally like how they were lucky they had a glass guy there, but even then, like the directors were assholes, like they turned the lights off, so he can't even do that no more. Right. So I would just have to leave it to luck. So yeah, I'll do the Squid Games.
This is a good one. I like this. I don't have the survival skills to do well in the Hunger Games. I like those movies. I like the world. I like the concept of the you know, the structure and everything and surviving in there, but outlasting 12 other people trying to survive, other districts and things like that. It sounds like really hard. And Squid Games also is a tall task. But I'm also going to side with Squid Games. I would like to think I could at least get by red light, green light. But you flinch the wrong way, and you're getting put down. So those are 2 hard choices. Maybe in the Hunger Games you could play more because you could just hide and last longer. But I think Squid Games is the answer because you could also still rely on some other people.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to side with you on that one. I'm going to say Squid Games. but a very, very tough answer there because just don't see myself winning in either way.
Mhm.
Okay, Kinsey. So there we go. That's our podcast for today. How do you feel about our second episode?
I feel really good about it. That the opening segments were just like us discussing like the Jets Browns games are really good. I think our power ranking segment was good. We both had like different overreactions. So yeah, I think it was a really, really good week.
All right. Well, I had a good time. I look forward to episode 3 next week. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. If you guys could like and subscribe us on YouTube, House of Agendas. We got the orange basketball logo with our name on it. Should be
Right.
easy to find now. We're up to 20 subscribers. We had looks like I think 80 views on our first video. We appreciate everybody who subscribed. We are on Spotify at House of Agendas also. If anything else, you know our Twitters, you know our handles, our social medias. Send us a message. We'll be active on social media at all times. I want to say thank you guys for coming in and watching and listening to our podcast. This is Doug signing off. Kenzie, give it to him.
Thank you guys. Every like, every comment, every share, every retweet, it all matters. Just keep supporting us. We'll keep putting the content out, and yeah, let's get it. Football season, basketball coming in
Basketball's in a
preseason
month.
basketball's in like 2
In a
weeks,
month.
but NBA starts in like 2 weeks. So we'll just have the ultimate hot takes flying when we got basketball and football at the same time. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. It's going to be really, really good.
All right, y'all. This is House of Agendas, and we're signing off. Have a good rest of your week.